All right, welcome back to Camp Chat, part two. I already did the intro, so welcome Cam, and we are waiting for our other guest, Niff, Jen, Niffer, Jennifer, whatever you want to call her. So we were just chatting about fencing and Hollow Knight and getting in the flow and like Souls-like games. And Hollow Knight is like the cutesy pixel version of a Souls-like game. It lures you in with the adorableness, and before you know it, you're learning the patterns of some big bug. But Hollow Knight, that's the game in which I got sort of that creepy feeling. I played the game all the way through, even well into like the bonus
Yeah.
bosses that are pretty much impossible, and then I
Oh
quit.
yeah. All the God
Um,
Helm bosses.
yeah, the gods and stuff. Um, but yeah, I by the time I beat a boss, I felt sad because I
Uh,
felt like I knew them well enough, and I was like, it's like saying goodbye to someone that I'd gotten to know so well.
hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's like where I guess I love it. Oh, Nif is on and she's recording. She's on here twice, which is interesting.
I went to come on and it kicked me out and I couldn't come on, so then I just came on again. Can you hear
Oh
me?
my gosh.
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you. Your version of you that is not here is not recording, so I think we're okay.
It's
I
like a
don't know.
ghost sniffer in the lower left.
Yeah. For somebody who posts so much on social media, the
That's
amount of
exact. I
like
was
things
just
that
thinking
happen with you and technology is mind-blowing to me.
that.
I can only handle so much, okay?
Okay,
I'm
there we
good
go.
at certain things, not the technology.
Ghost Sniff is gone. We are recording again. We were waiting for you, but the time was stretching on, and we were producing some quality content. So we just decided to start
I can't
recording
wait
again.
to hear what I missed. It's
I just
probably
Yeah.
so
mainly
good.
just video game stuff.
Yeah, we were just talking about video game
Oh,
things. So
Yeah.
nothing super
okay.
crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Latham, where do you want to start? Where do you want to jump in with things? Any
Um,
topics?
no. So I don't know if you heard the intro, but the vibe you didn't. The vibe for Camp Chat for this podcast is we've had a thrilling adventure all day, maybe a festival, camping, a hike, I don't know, off-roading, and now we're at the campfire at the end of the day, and we've got full bellies, and we're just sitting around, and we just talk about anything, like anything might come up.
Yeah,
We might even sit in silence
yeah.
and wait and see what happens because something interesting is going to come out of that
Yeah.
silence.
Well, I think from that idea, I mean, partly because I think we're like not post-festival, though we're always kind of on an adventure, which is like maybe something we could talk about. But I'm curious about for you two, and I'm happy to share it as well. But like, what are some of the like favorite camp chats that you've actually had?
Before you got here, we were saying how curious we were about the
Ah,
triad of the three of us, how things would play out, and
yeah.
like yeah.
I mean, I'm
All
excited to
right,
see.
state your question again.
Oh, I was just curious about like what are some of your favorite like camp chats that you've had post festival or rave? Like, are there any ones that like first come to mind?
I'll just say that every time we get into some sort of any kind of philosophy discussion,
Hmm.
we touch on it, we inevitably get sucked into the black hole of whether we have free will. It just like, always end up there.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, I've thought a lot about, and I don't actually want to talk about free will that much, because I've talked about it so much and I've thought about it so much. And people will bring up, because most people don't think about it that much. Somebody will bring up an obstacle to like, well, what about this? This is why we have free will. And I just sit there because I've thought about that particular one for a long, long time, and I eventually had to conclude that no, that's doesn't mean we have free will. And then somebody else would say something else, and I'm just sitting there like, yep, just keep thinking about it. You may not want to think about it enough, but if you think about it enough, you will eventually figure out you don't have free will, and then you're either going to be freaked the fuck out or you're going to feel free. So you may not want to go do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I, again, like, not that we have to go into that conversation, but like, I don't know that I would agree with that because there's obviously people who have thought about that probably way more than you or I have who still believe in free will, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
but they cheat to get to
but
that.
see, that's an obtuse idea. That's you being like, no, they're wrong, and like they must be doing something wrong
They are
versus
wrong.
like, there's probably something that they
They're
believe or something
objectively
they
wrong.
experience. Yeah,
I've not committed to one answer because I feel like,
yeah,
oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And then I'm swayed to this side and I'm like, no, wait, but that makes sense. But I totally have, like, I can do literally anything right
right.
now. But something's making me do that. Something's making me do that. I have no control over everything that's happening right
You
now.
just what? How many objects did you just pass through? You had Nicolas
I
Cage,
haven't.
a Stanley. What? How many?
Wait, what just happened? Oh, okay. That's fine.
Oh my gosh, here we go again.
We lost your audio. Oh, wait, now it's back, maybe?
Are you doing it on your computer or your phone?
I'm on my phone now.
Mhm.
But should I be on my
No,
computer
I would have
now?
hoped that the phone you might have less trouble with the phone, but you cut out there
There's a
for a
lot
minute.
on my phone. Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It says the actual recording quality is higher, so hopefully we're still getting whatever it is, but it's okay. Trials and tribulations.
Anyway,
Sorry, I don't have free will.
I
It's
saw
not me,
Nick
guys.
Cage and yeah.
Yeah.
So I was actually curious when he started saying like, "Oh, I don't really have a topic. We just kind of shoot the shit and say whatever." Camp, because I feel like you're a very like organization and having topics and things
I
like that.
know.
Is that
That's why
different for
that's why I
you?
like
You're
it.
like, "Oh, this is cool. This is freedom," because it
Yeah,
feels different.
that's why it feels different to me.
Um, that's an interesting idea. Like, because a lot of times, like, I'm actually like, I didn't come up with that question before we were here, right? So a lot of like my podcast even
Yeah.
is like very much like in flow. Like, I do like do prep and I'll like think about things and what I want to go through, but a lot of it is like tuning in and just like listening and then paying attention, like, oh, I want to like know more about that, um, and like reframing things back to the guest. A lot of times is like I just reflect back what I hear them say, and then they'll be like, oh, and then
Yeah, you did
no,
that for me. You would like
yeah,
come up with some
Mhm.
little question or insight on something I had just talked about for 3 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, I never looked at it that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of times other people would be like, "Here's all the questions I'm going to ask you." I had no idea, so
Yeah, I know. I've had people on my podcast be like, um, not a ton, but I've had like two or three be like, "Hey, can you send me all the questions ahead of time?" And I'm like, hey, I don't typically want to do that because I don't want to like have a hyper, thinking thing unless there like I do if there's something like that I feel like, I would want you to like research prep. Like if we were deep diving into a topic, I would totally understand because you want to be prepared and not like give wrong
yeah.
information or that kind of thing. But it's like my podcast is really focused on like you as a human and then like your wisdom gained from that. And so like what if anything, I want you to be just more present in the moment and not hyper thinking about things.
I mean, you only have one question.
Who are you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's.
the only question though, and then everything else stems from that.
that's
I mean,
true.
it's a big question, right? Like, who are you? I mean, that was kind of like a fireside chat. Not really a fireside chat, but that was a question that was asked to me when I was at a rave and I was on like Molly and
Just like in the crowd,
yeah. No, no, no. I was so
and it
I
wasn't
was
like, who are
I was
you?
I was at Shams, and I was the two friends I was hanging out with are both very spiritual. Like one had like maybe like 6 months into being a uh like I don't know what you call it, like a licensed or like he was a Zen priest. So I don't know what that whatever
Oh,
becoming he became a Zen priest like officially at like 6 months before we went out there together. And I was like just kind of like I don't know, kind of like spiraling and just like da da da. And he just like sat me down. He's like, "Who are you?" And I was like, and I would come up with like different answers. I'm like, "I'm a son. I'm da da da." All these different things. He goes, "No, no. Who are you?" And I'd be like, And then I would kept giving him answers. He's like, "No, who are you?" And I just like paused, and he goes, "Is this the first thing that you thought?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Yes, that's a great place to be." And he just looked me in the eyes, and I was like, and it was like so freeing
yeah.
for me. Is somebody
That's
laughing?
like the starting point, right?
Yeah,
Accepting that you don't
no,
know, like, and even if you're pretty far down that path, you still don't. You still have more to explore. Jen,
yeah.
you're set up. How do you post all these incredible Insta reels and then you get on with us and then it's like, oh,
Because storage, recording, I'm like, ugh.
it's okay.
I could. I could switch to my computer. I don't know if that
It's
would
like
make a difference or not, but it
it's
might.
fine. You made it like 4 or 5 minutes without any issues, so let's just keep going.
No, I was so frustrated because I was so entranced by what Cam was saying and like listening to it, and right at the end, it just went.
Oh
I'm
no, it's
like,
like that little pearl. It's okay.
We'll figure it out. I mean, it's like the
yeah.
first or second one that I guess that you're doing. Um, I was gonna say, oh, just to piggyback, I guess, after the point you were saying with, yeah, and I agree. I think it's like that point of beginning, which is also like very Zen mind. Like it's the idea is like the beginner's mind, right? And so being able to like begin and from a place of not knowing, and that's there's even like differences in like brainwave stuff. So like, you can train same Zen it's the same brainwaves, but like different contexts. And so like when you train the state of as like a Zen master versus like a tantric master, let's say, like you're gonna have same similar patterns, but like different contexts that change things. So like Zen mind, they see everything as like new, and so it's like there's a saying from like Alan Watts where it's like the sound of the rain needs no explanation, right? And being able to hear that as if it's like happening for the first time is sort of like the goal for Zen in a sense that you're experiencing everything as new. Whereas like with the like tantric traditions or like the that side, it's really more that like everything is like Maya and illusion, and so it's about like penetrating through everything being like new and everything is being like already experienced, already happened. So it's kind of an interesting, different little.
So I have something that ties into that. I was
Yeah.
talking to Chat about this. Uh, so I started with a new therapist, and he's so freaking cool. He's really awesome. Feels like we're on the same wavelength. But there's a lot of stuff to dig through. He was just trying to take notes, like trying to get a general outline. Uh, but I've started a daily journal. Every morning I wake up and I just tell Chat, hey, this is what's going on. Here's what I'm feeling, and then I'm going to summarize all of that into a one pager for my therapist when I go to see him. But
Nice.
anyway, what we were talking about today was how I rest and recover from my busy life. And the way I envision recovery is I collapse on the couch and just binge stupid TV and
Mm,
like numb out for hours. And I never really feel recovered from that. I just kind of feel
mm,
sad at the end. And so instead of doing that, I'm going to listen to like an hour of music and just lightly stretch and just
nice.
sit with myself. It's really, really hard for me to sit with myself. Like
Mm,
I want to do something else. Then I just start thinking negative thoughts and I get into a loop. And then when I
mm,
go do things, I don't really do that.
mm.
So I did. I sat for about an hour today, listened to some liquid drum and bass, and I was able to get through sort of like the sad negative thoughts and get some positive thoughts going. So yeah, something for me to work on is just being present with myself. The
Yeah.
little me inside that's always never stops. Always just stream of words, narrating what's happening, trying to predict the future.
I think that's such a beautiful practice, though. I think just like sitting there, I do that a lot. I go on hikes. That's what I'll go out and like to the woods, and I just sit there and I'll like just start paying attention to whatever thoughts are going on in my head. And I always say you could always tell the clarity of me by the clarity of my thoughts. And I don't listen to them with any sort of judgment, but I'll be like, oh, all right, we have some stuff to work on there. Like, oh, I noticed that, or maybe very optimistic and outgoing, outlooking on future things and things like that. So, but the hardest part I think is just listening to that without judgment. So just, if they are negative thoughts, not being like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing this right now, looking at like. But even if the thoughts turn to that, just paying attention to that.
Yeah.
But I think over time, I think that'll be a good practice for you.
Definitely. And uh, it's also like there's a lot of negative thoughts in there, and they have a it's good intentions. These negative thoughts are well intentioned. Like you're not working
Mhm.
hard enough, you're not doing enough, you're not doing all this stuff, you're not building the life you want, on and on and on. But it's like it's well intentioned, it's trying to push me. It's trying to like not in a very polite way. So I'm trying to listen to those and being like, yeah, I know. I know.
Mhm.
It's gonna be fine. Like we're on top of things. Here's all the reasons. We're doing all these goals. Calm down. So
Yeah. I mean, I resonate with that a lot. A lot of I feel like my work this year has been around like letting go of self beat up and letting go of, um, I want to say not letting go of negative thoughts because I don't know if that's like an actual thing, but like really being able to find a different way to be motivated than the not doing enough voice, right?
Than
And
the
like,
than the drill sergeant voice.
yeah, exactly. Like, how can I
That's
have
good.
a different energy that motivates me? Because I think that like you can achieve great things from a place of fear and anger and rage and self-hatred. You can create accomplish amazing things, but it comes at a major cost.
Lots of people have.
Yeah, tons of. And that's just not the energy that I want to like drive me. It's not how I want to be motivated for myself, for sure.
It's beautiful.
So have
Yeah.
you found an answer yet? Are you still, is this just like the continuous journey, figuring out what
Yeah.
motivates you?
Yeah, I think part of it is like there's not like an answer, I guess, for me.
Mhm.
It's about like there's not like a thing to solve in that sense. It's more of it is like I think it's just like letting myself have the time to like realign and you said like Latham like around like trusting like everything's gonna be fine, but like actually continuing to like trust that, right? Continuing to be like and not just multiple times, even over this last like month where it's been like I've been tempted to go do something from a place of guilt or do something from a place of shame or start changing my behavior based on things. Or if I stay up maybe later than I ideally sort of want to or something like that and miss it up, like going to bed feeling good about myself regardless, like that has been like sort of more the like innate practice is being like, okay, great, you did that, and like everything's fine, and like I still love you, and you're good, and like not needing to, and like being able to be like, okay, I see like my temptation to go into some sort of beat up or rage or whatever, but just being like, okay, I'm gonna not do that, which is uncomfortable. Like it feels good, and that's uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable to feel good doing things that I enjoy, which is like even getting into raves and festivals is a big part of my journey was like just doing something that I loved for the sake of doing it. It didn't have an end goal or didn't have a purpose to it other than it was fun.
Seems like it was a big part of all of our journeys.
Yeah.
Kind of in a similar timeline as well, within like the
Hmm.
last 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the goal is we're all going to meet up at one day, right? All three of us.
Yeah. Well, you gotta come to Shams because we're
Blah,
we're coming to
blah,
Shams.
blah. This is
I know he said.
in my opinion, this is the only festival. The only one. Everything else is just a party.
Was this a July one? Is that the July one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last week of July.
Yep.
It's in,
Canada.
it's in British Columbia,
Yeah.
up in the mountains. It's so beautiful. There's a
Yeah.
river.
You gotta come.
I mean, it logistically, it is a huge pain. It's really hard to get Americans to go. Even ravers, most of them don't even know that it exists. And then getting across the border is another huge barrier for some people. They don't want to
Mm.
think about that. They don't have passports sometimes.
Uh,
So, yeah,
Mm.
but we could go to, I don't know. The problem with Elements is that it's right after Shams, and I need like a full month to recover from Shams. So we'll figure it out. It will
Yeah, I
happen.
think that's why I
It
thought of
is
that
going to
too, because
happen,
I was like,
and it doesn't have to be
so
Shams,
close.
but it is going to happen.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and I have Base Canyon in August, and then I'm going to Grizztronics in May next
Oh,
year.
nice.
So excited about. Which their pre-sale is sold out, but I think they're still going to do a main sale. I'm hopeful because I think Jen's interested in going. I don't know if you're going to want to go because I know you're not a huge non-D&B fan.
I'm definitely not going there.
Yeah, and then but I have other friends who are like, I want to go, but the tickets sold out or whatever. So I'm hoping that they do a main sale and more tickets are available, but we'll see.
I had a ticket to Seven Stars, but I ended up not using it,
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
unfortunately. Well, I planned a camping trip with my kids, and I was trying to juggle. I had some vague plan in my head of having my mom babysit the kids while I went to Seven Stars, which was only an hour away. My brother was there. He went all 3 days. It just didn't work out. Like I was having too much fun at camp. I didn't want to leave for 4 hours to go. It was so crowded, so much more crowded than I thought it was going to be. There were like tens of thousands of people there. Yeah, it would have been fun, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to go. Grizz is like one of my top four, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but I'll see Grizz at Hijinks at least. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah?
I got that coming up. I'm stoked for that.
Nice. When's that?
It's like
Uh,
I think the last weekend in December, like right after Christmas.
oh, really? I thought it was New Year's Eve.
Or is that right
Well,
after No, I think it's
the week after
I think
Christmas
it's
is New Year's Eve, isn't it?
Okay.
Because the
yeah,
25th
because I
is
think New
the
Year's
weekend.
is like a Wednesday or something, right?
So it's the
Oh,
weekend before that.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to try to go to that one. It's probably not going to happen because I have the kids and stuff, but
Yeah.
it would
You
be cool.
mentioned. So we had talked about him potentially coming, and I'm like, we can't tell Cam. And then
Oh
the
yeah.
three of
Oh
us on
no, it's
chat
still.
will just like FaceTime Cam
Yeah,
and be like,
yeah.
well, that'd be cool. I'd be super stoked. That would make me super happy. Yeah.
yeah.
Might still happen.
Yeah, that's something that
Listen,
Jen got me to start doing was just randomly calling her and voice video calling her when I'm at a show or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, the first time I did it, I had talked to somebody. I was like, I think I was messaging you, and then somebody was like looking over my shoulder and was like, "Is that Niff? You're messaging Niff?" Like they were like so excited. They're like, "I love her content." Da, 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 da. And I was like, "Yeah." And then I FaceTimed Niff while I was at the thing, and then I like showed her to my friend, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And she was so excited. It's so
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
I
Shams
loved
this
it.
year. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
Shams
No.
this year, I FaceTime my brother during Delta Heavy, and I
Huh?
was just passing the phone around to my friends and being like, "It's my brother!" And he's like in his living room, like waving, like with the incredible glory of the village behind him, and just his little face with his living room.
Aw.
It was awesome. A little portal. Yeah.
I'm just realizing I don't feel like I do this enough. And it's such a magical moment when you do that. I feel like even being there and FaceTiming someone or even being on the receiving end of that and being
Yeah.
kind of present in a moment you're not a part of, I'm here
Yeah.
going, oh my gosh.
I I,
I
ha-
think you're inspiring me to do it more.
I have been on the receiving end a couple times, and usually it's just a bunch of blurry, dark video, and and I'm like, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't always make out the music. And I remember I said to Cam, I was like, turn the camera on you. I want to see you. And then you did it. And what I remember, or now if you ever record videos and I see that, I'm always like, there he is. Because it's also cool to see like you
Yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that just seeing their face, you can usually make out like a face. It's cool. Cool to share that.
Yeah.
I love that we have these natural pauses.
I'm all about the silence. Something is going to happen, and it's going to be interesting. You just got to wait for it.
Everything that happened has been interesting.
It's true. What do you mean? Everything in camp chat or like the universe?
Yeah. Well, oh, how deep? Well, both. But I was,
I was thinking about that today, how we're all experiencing the next thing that happens in this universe together, and it's brand new. Every instant is completely new. It's never happened before, and we're all here just like together, like plummeting into the future, experiencing it.
yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of what that same night I think I was talking to that Zen priest and I was like, I don't know, worried about some world thing and he was like I was like, what are we gonna, how is this gonna work shape out? And he's like, I don't know, we've never done it before. And I was like,
Exactly.
that's a great point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's cool and fascinating too. Like each of us as individuals, and then somehow all three of us, like you two connected, and then we connected, and now like all three of
Hmm.
us being here. Like
Yeah.
it's just, you think of all the planning and organization and
Yeah.
all the stuff that had to happen to create this moment. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had a moment like that at Burning Man where I got to know a guy at the camp that I was in, and we kind of jived. Oh, he's coming to Shams this year.
Nice.
We kind of vibed, and then at one point we were lost on the playa, just in a dust storm. We couldn't see anything, and he like took my head in his hands, and we made eye contact. And I said, "Think about what is going on in the world around us, and everything that brought us here, all of human history, the fossil fuels, and we are here in this moment." Together for about 30 seconds before this dust clears.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still remember it. So,
It's awesome.
That seems like a full sensory experience, like being pulled into someone, like the eye contact and all that
yeah,
going on around you.
eye contact
Wow.
doesn't happen very much, even with my own kids, even with people that, you know, you love. It doesn't really happen like held eye contact, maybe with your
Mhm.
partner, but
I feel
yeah,
like I do eye contact a lot.
you're good at it.
Yeah, I mean it's
But
definitely
some
something that
people
like
want to talk to you because you actually look at them.
yeah, there was like a
You're like listening.
my friend she's a somatic practitioner, which you don't have to get into that what that is, but she posted online where it was like some funny meme where it's like, oh, it's me just giving like basic human decency, and somebody who's never received that before is now like telling me their life story, and they're like
Yeah.
telling me like assume that like sort of I'm their best friend at this point because I'm like, oh, this is just like how I show up regularly because we're just like,
You're so non-threatening. There's no edge.
uh, that's good, yes, yeah,
It's a good
Threatening.
thing.
yeah, yeah.
I was even going to ask you if people tell you their life stories, but I guess you answered that. Do you get people that come up to you, either of you, like in public,
Me?
and start just like, is that a common thing?
People don't trust me. They say they find me intimidating.
Ah,
It changes once they get to know me. They'll say like, "I found you so intimidating," and
huh.
I'm like, "Okay,
Hmm.
sorry."
That's interesting. And it makes you wonder, like, is it something like within you, or then some people might internalize that and be like, what am I doing to be intimidating? But it could be that they're intimidated by something that, you have no control over. It's
Yeah.
something triggering them.
Well, I'm kind of quiet, and I have resting serious face, and I was in the military. I think those three things just kind of like work together.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, how do you when you hear somebody?
That's what the ducks are for. And then this intimidating, quiet person with a
Hmm.
brooding look gives them a duck, and it's like, oh, okay, he's cool.
Well, I mean, I don't see you as like quiet and brooding, at least at like shows and stuff. I don't think in general ever, but like, I'm curious about like what you,
That's changed over time. That's part of what the festival community has given me. I
yeah,
feel like I can come out at those without fear of rejection and fear of judgment.
yeah, but
You
like,
think,
what do you when you hear like like somebody say that you're intimidating, like, how do you interpret that
Mhm.
word?
uh, like off-putting, like they shouldn't interact with
Hmm.
me. Like I don't want to interact with them, or like, uh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I'll come back to it.
Okay, so can I just like offer
I had
some?
something I wanted to express, but I can't quite find the words for it.
No, it's okay. Like, can I just offer something? Because like
Of course.
I I would say like at raves and festivals, I find you intimidating, but not from a place of where I feel like threatened or scared of you. It's because of how like awesome I see you experiencing the rave. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing that he's like on that level. And I'm like, how do I get to that level? And like, cause you're so like willing to go up to strangers or do a thing or like get your autograph signed or pass people like your hat to get like signed for signatures and things like that. I'm like, wow. So like that to me, I find that intimidating, but I don't find it like threatening or scary or like I want to
No,
avoid you. I'm just
uh,
like,
no. When I'm like that, I never get the intimidating feedback.
hmm,
People like that. People like L. I think of
Mhm.
that person as L.
mm,
No, it's more like, I don't know, like the workplace or like
mm.
just at parties or whatever, normal parties, pre-festival. Yeah.
Got it.
That's why I like Shams, is because there's hordes of people who are on that level.
Yeah.
You can just tap somebody on the shoulder, and you're like, yeah! At like Base Canyon, I don't know, like these other festivals I think of as parties. It's hard. You really got to find somebody who's on that level. It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, Shamans
I
is
could tell
definitely,
I could tell Niffer would be on that level though,
yeah.
100%.
I feel like I've reached that level so much more because at one point I remember when I was at a festival and I was just dancing and just being myself, like I'll say, like in that state of flow, which is like my favorite place to be. And someone came up to me and they were just like, I have to say, like, just keep doing that. Like
Exactly.
you could tell it was almost like they were feeling it because of how much I was letting it out. And I'm like, oh, you feel that? It was just a
Yep.
really cool experience.
So I've been to two shows at kind of like with a regular crowd here in DC. This is recently,
Mhm.
and at both of them, I was the only one. Well, I was the one most into it at the very front, under the DJ, sunglasses on, facing the crowd, spinning around with my jacket, just dancing my ass off. And uh, I used to feel self-conscious about that. I don't anymore. I'm like, this is it. This is awesome. This music is great. and people are just kind of some people just stare at me. But I can see people moving. Like I can see people who literally start moving when they notice me. They start moving back and forth. Some people will come up and dance with me. Like they feel kind of awkward. They want the vibe. They're not sure. They have so many barriers to get past, but they know that they want it. So it's cool to see.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of times you get that energy when you're all the way up front. Like a lot of people are usually moving their
I'm
bodies and
always in the
everything.
front. That's my favorite
It
place.
tends to
Very,
taper
very
off
true.
towards the back.
Yeah.
So one of the things I like to do is if you give all that energy towards the back, I feel like the bigger I am, the more that it
Oh,
almost gives this like
okay.
social permission to the people around me to move like not as much as that, but on their level.
It's
Yeah.
also a great way to get to the front because because people who don't want that energy will either kind of move through you or they'll start creating space as they're moving. And then like I find the amount of times I've started like in the back of a thing and just like kind of follow a flow of like, oh, hey, a little bit of space opened up in front of me in this way, and
Yeah.
then move up. And then like by the end of the set, I'm like in the front of the pit. It's
Yeah.
pretty high.
The other thing you can do is
I,
go up the
Yeah.
side, and then, but yeah, so the way I move through crowds now is I don't think of them as obstacles. I'll talk to every single person between where I am and where I want to be. I'll touch them on the shoulder, I'll give them a compliment, I'll be like, "How you doing?" And literally 3 words, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, go." Get in there, like,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you can go pretty much anywhere as long as you're polite.
I agree. I mean, I think that's like one of the biggest things that drives me nuts is the people who just like push through the
Yeah.
crowd. And it's like all it takes is literally like, excuse me, can I get through? Like just tap on the shoulder. Hey, can I want to go? Okay, sure. And like everybody moves out of the way and like everybody's cool
Yeah.
about it. But just like just be a little bit polite and you're good.
Because if
I'll
you're
say,
not, it almost like disturbs that flow too. Like you said,
Yeah.
if you're taking the environment, if everyone's dancing and moving like this and you start moving like this, you're going to go, it's like being in the ocean and you're going to go
yeah.
with it. But if you come through with aggression or come through with force,
Yeah.
you feel that energy. It knocks everyone off. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Makes me think of being at a couple of different raves where it's like you can tell like it's somebody's like first rave and
Mhm.
like they've maybe been to like other shows and they're just trying to like force something to happen, or they've had too much alcohol or both, and it's just like there's like a you're like that person is not flowing in the same energy that everybody else is for
Yeah.
whatever reason. You can totally feel it, and it's like it's off-putting, right? And then it's like okay, a lot of times like I've been in spaces too where it's like I end up like I don't know, helping facilitate that person to like calm down a little bit or whatever too, which is like fine. But there's also been times where it's like that person just gotta like get out of here right now because he's being a dick.
Mhm.
It took me a few hours to adjust.
Yeah,
I couldn't even like I wasn't feeling the energy at all. I didn't understand the music. I didn't understand
yeah,
the people. I didn't know what was going on. Eventually, I eased into it and I got the flow. But there's
yeah.
some people you talk to them and they tell you it's their first rave and you don't believe it almost because they're
Mm,
so part of the energy. It's just like,
hmm.
yeah, welcome.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. What was your first time you got candy?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't remember.
No?
I think it was, I mean, it was at Shambhala, obviously, but I don't remember it specifically.
Mm,
I
yeah.
remember the first trinket I got.
Hmm.
Well, the first trinket that I remember getting uh, was this guy who tapped me on the shoulder, and he was holding a little blue duck in his hand. And I was like, "Oh, this duck symbolizes the freedom and love I've discovered here." And I took it, I held it, and then he was like, he asked for it back. So I gave it back to him.
Aw. I'm curious, Cam, do you have a first candy trading experience story? Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like really. I know, like my first two were really big, I think, because I went to my first rave, I didn't really know what I was going to. I was at Base Canyon, and it was like, I think it was day three, and the people was with who brought me were just like super, super kind people, and all of a sudden she just goes, "Okay, you're ready for this," and then she goes like this. I was like, "What is happening?" Right? And then so we went through the plur thing, and she put this on my wrist, and I just
Oh,
remember crying because I was like, "Wow!" I just felt this like sense of belonging, you know, with this place, and like feeling like I was like meant to be there and I belonged, and it was like something very special for me. And then similar kind of thing where it's like I went down, the only artist I knew, and I didn't even know before I went to the show, but the only artist I knew there was LS Dream, and so I went down to the pit for his set and just like danced my ass off, and then somebody's like, "You," and like gave me another piece of candy. I was like, wow, like just me being myself or like having fun dancing to the music that I love, like people just like saw something and you know spoke to that, and that was
mhm.
special. Yeah.
People don't really do candy anymore. It's pretty rare, but that
Oh,
just makes
I see it
it
all the
a lot.
time.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see it as much.
Maybe it's just the drum and bass
It's not a thing in
group.
drum and bass at all. Maybe
Yeah, I
that's
can
what
see
it
that
is. Yeah.
because it's
Oh,
definitely
Oh,
with a
wow.
lot of bass culture, it definitely is.
I have a tidbit that may be of use to you guys. I just learned this a few months ago. So when trading candy, I always get kind of frustrated at doing this, doing like just like doing the transition. And I was like, this is so annoying. My friend was watching me and he was like, that's the fun of it. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh. And then I realized it's like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're touching and you're feeling each other's hands, you're being gentle and responding to each other's
Mhm.
movements.
Yeah.
So that's the way I do it. And it's
Yeah.
a lot more fun now.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like grocery checkouts, and I used to always feel so anxious when I would buy, and I would need to pull out change, like we used cash back in the day or whatever it was, and
You're
like I
waiting.
don't, yeah, I was like always feel
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I'm like holding things up, and like that's been like another active practice to like be like if anything, I'm gonna take less time if I'm calm and just do the thing
Yeah.
one at a time versus like being anxious about it.
Well, that was the thing in the military, actually.
Hmm.
If you're rushing, you're going to be slower. We said uh, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Mm-hmm.
Just calm down, focus on the task, focus, breathe through it. You're going to be better off than if you're just like, ah! Yeah,
Do they
Yeah.
teach you breathing techniques in the military? Like while you're doing things?
no.
No? Hmm.
Other than that, small mention.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious.
I feel like that would be so essential. To me, that would be like, all right, guys, like, I'm really surprised.
What do you mean?
That surprises me that like breathing techniques aren't taught like just knowing situations or things that you'll have to be with. Like, how are you taught coping mechanism to deal with the things you might
There's
potentially
no coping
encounter?
mechanism. You suck it up. We're men. We don't need to
It's
cope.
repression.
There's nothing to cope with.
Ah,
Real men don't
oh
feel
wow.
things. When I got out, we had to sign a waiver saying we would never seek compensation for PTSD because it's not real.
Whoa.
That was in 2005
That's wild.
or 2008. Yep. That didn't start changing until around 2012, and now it's just commonplace. It's accepted. Generals talk about it. The first time a general acknowledged the existence of PTSD, it was like a huge, huge deal.
I didn't realize it was that
Never happened
recent.
before.
That's
Yeah, same.
crazy.
Yeah.
This is all new information for me too. That it's almost like this changes my viewpoint on so many things. I'm so surprised by that.
There's still a lot of that mindset. It's gotten a lot better, and the VA provides treatment for it. But it's just very macho. It's very macho culture, you know? It's
But
just,
then if you actually want to seek treatment or want to seek out those tools and things, all the like guilt and shame added on top of that, you have to like peel off just to be able to.
you know,
I'm glad that there's changes though.
it's so much better than it used to be. Veterans will talk about it openly and talking to people. Like therapy was like, that was like, you're considered a hippie. Therapy? What? Talk to somebody about it? Like, why do you have any problems? This is our job. This is what we're trained to do. You're fine. You don't need to talk to
Yeah.
anybody.
It's so interesting to me because and it's obviously, my own small experience, and I'm attracted to the people who are somewhat like me, I'm sure, but like the three people that come to my mind that I know in the military, four people, um, are all like very intelligent, thoughtful, spiritually minded, were like in the military, maybe reading books on meditation or doing other things. Like, and it's just always like fascinating to me, like, I don't know, finding those people within the military, I guess, who like do think deeper like you do and stuff. And like, and then, but then also hearing there's this other culture that's also a part of it that like I'm guessing is probably more of the baseline of like just not questioning these things or
I
yeah.
mean, to pretty much anyone who, and I'm going to make a broad stroke here, pretty much anyone who lives in the Seattle metro area, they wouldn't
Well,
have
this is
any.
like before Seattle too. So like
Okay.
yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is it's a different culture. It's its own culture. And
Oh.
unless you're in it or adjacent to it, you're just not going to really know that much about
Mm.
it, except where it pops out in malignant ways sometimes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's fair.
And a part of that is that it's all volunteer now. Everyone who goes in is probably already part of that culture. They come out of a family, it's military, they're already bought into it, so it kind of perpetuates itself.
Or it's like the it becomes I mean a lot of it right is people who like that becomes the best option for them to create a life for themselves, right? Like if you don't have other prospects or you don't have whatever, it's like you can go to the military and you can participate and get all the things that come with being in the military and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that does work for some people. Uh, I will say that uh, for a lot of people, it's really what's inside them. That's the
Mm.
problem. And they will just run into the same barriers in the military. But yeah, pop on weed and get sent home. And then they get to tell everybody for the rest of their life, I was gonna be, I was gonna be a Marine or whatever. So I was talking to this uh, Coast Guard guy the other day that I met at Arlington National Cemetery, and he was telling me all about, and I was just waiting. I was waiting for him to say it. I knew he was going to say it if the conversation went on long enough. And finally, he was like, I was going to be a Marine, but they said I had like an elbow spur, and I didn't qualify physically. And I was like, yep, there it is.
Mm. Is it just because a lot of people want to be Marines? Is
Yeah,
that like the thing?
they're
Yeah.
like, I could have been a Marine. You
Mm.
know, I
Yeah.
was going to be a Marine. Like,
Let's
okay,
see. I have friends who were, I think I have two Marine friends, one Navy friend, and like two Army friends. And like I love listening to their stories and perspectives and things. It's so fascinating. Actually, did you ever meet Vadim out here at
no,
HIFM? So he was a conscientious objector to um I think the Iraq War, I think it was Iraq War or Afghanistan, one of the two. But he was a conscientious objector and was able to like be whatever it was, like uh, I forget what the term is. It's like ceremoniously like removed or whatever the
yeah,
term is.
that's a thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
mostly for people from like a Quaker or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah. Well, that was what was interesting with him is like he wasn't it wasn't like from a religious standpoint.
but did he
And
volunteer?
yeah, I mean he volunteered into it and it was
That he was going to get sent to war or something like that?
yeah, and he consciously objected, and it was like it was on
Yeah.
philosophical grounds that he disagreed with the war in and of itself.
Oh, the war itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was
Fair.
somebody else that he went to conscientiously object with, and the other guy was not dismissed or whatever for whatever reason. So yeah, it was like really just interesting hearing his story and take. And he was born in like post-Soviet Russia, I think too, before coming over.
Well, that went down a somber path.
That's
How are
okay.
we gonna, how are we
That's
going
okay.
to resurrect? How are we going to resurrect this?
I thought
Niff,
you were gonna just
let's
trust
think
the
up.
silence.
I know.
Niffer, save us. Tell us
Save
something
you.
amazing.
Save you. Tell you something amazing.
Yeah.
Life is amazing. Everything's amazing. That's so hippie. That's such like a
Uh,
hippie answer.
I thought you were gonna be like, well, actually, I've been processing a lot of the grief around my dad dying.
I should have been like, do you want to talk about my dead dad? I love talking about my dead dad. That's so funny. There was this guy I was dating, and he was like, he's like, if I had to tell someone, what's Sniff like? probably be like, yeah, she has a dead dad. And I'm like, oh my God, is it my personality? I do talk about him a lot,
It's
though.
like Batman. This whole thing is.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make light of your father. That I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Oh, oh, that's fine. I've like leaned very much into like the humor as my coping mechanism, and it's interesting because I met someone, and when I met this guy, I was told he has not only are his parents dead, but like one of his parents died, and then like a few months later, his other parent died, and then for Halloween, he dressed up as little orphan Annie, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm meeting this guy. And then
Yeah.
I met him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in the Dead Dads Club." And then we became really good friends. And then when my dad died, I'll never forget. I walked up to him, and he just took like this deep breath, and he was like, "Welcome to the club." But it was this
That was
like
that
I
was
hated it.
before. You met him before.
I met him before my
Your
dad
father
died. So
passed
then when
away.
he found out my dad died, it was this like,
That's actually
and I
really
think that's why I talk about it a lot and stuff, the Dead Dads Club, because there's this like it's like I always say, like the duality of things. As much as it sucks and hurts that you lost your parent, it's really kind of cool to know that there's this like whole community of people in this like club that we didn't choose to be in that understand everything that you're kind of feeling and going through. So I
and
really like that.
those are relationships and connections you would not have had.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It makes
All
me
right,
think
we talked about death now.
of
What's next?
Well, I was gonna say like I just saw this like
Free will.
cool story that I think I've heard before that you just reminded me of, which was like there was like a woman whose like child died, and so she went to like this like holy man who she was told like could like do miracles, and so she asked if he could bring like his daughter back to life, and he said, Yes, I can, but what I want you to do is go. I need to collect mustard seeds from a house where none of their family members have died." And so she goes from like house to house and collects mustard seeds. And like at the first one, she goes there and they go, "Yeah, I have mustard seeds." She goes, "Okay, actually, wait 1 second. Like, do you, has anybody in your household died?" And he goes, "Actually, yeah, like my dad passed away or my brother was lost or whatever it was." And so she goes from house to house. And then over time, she basically learns that like everybody else has experienced the same thing and finds and the ability to actually let her daughter go and like bury her and move on with her life.
It's my nightmare.
Huge. That's huge because I feel like, and when you feel grief and feel that, that's for some reason it's the most isolating feeling. You feel like it's like this is happening to me. Like no
Yeah,
one understands this. So
Yeah.
I love
it's
that.
happened so many times. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just
Hmm.
the state of the world we're in.
Yeah. What
Checking
do
on
you
my
guys?
checking my
Oh,
daughter's location right now. You made me think of her.
oh, your daughter's location. I think it's your dog's location. Where's your
No.
dog? Wandering around?
Monitoring my dog's location.
Okay,
There-
she's back home. Okay, sweet.
Beautiful. Um.
She was just in a play. She was in
Oh
Beauty
yeah.
and
Nice.
she played Villager number 3.
Wait, in
Very
what play? What was it?
Beauty and the Beast,
nice.
the middle school play. There were musical numbers, and she was so good. She was like the best Villager number 3 you've ever seen. She was like so
What?
enthusiastic and so into her role. And they had opportunities to do a little bit of improv, like a village scene,
Mm,
and they're
that's
walking
cool.
around buying flowers and fish and stuff. And she was like playing her little part so like
That's good.
she was really into it.
So
She said next year she wants a bigger part. So.
that's awesome. That's inspiring. Very cool.
Huh.
Yeah. Did
What
you
do your
do any
what do
research?
your what do your kids do, Niff?
What do my kids do?
What do they do for fun?
My son is very much into like Dungeons and Dragons and role
Yes.
playing
Look,
games and
did we talk about this
what?
already? I'm an
No.
experienced DM. Look,
Oh, are you?
it's the and from
Listen,
D&D.
I know what DM means because that's what he's doing in his thing right now, but I don't really know much else. And he was
I
like,
love
"Mom, he's like, you're such a druid. Is that what it is? Is that,
yeah.
hey,
That's
Yeah.
really accurate. I feel like that's so accurate.
I don't know what it means, but he's like, Mom, so I hear lingo and stuff, but I'm like,
Well, druids get to turn into bears, so it's a good
Yeah,
one.
you're a
bear?
shapeshifter.
Yeah, bears.
Yeah, you're like a mystical shaman shapeshifter.
You
Ooh,
commune,
I do like
you
that.
like in touch with nature and
Mhm.
Yeah.
he said nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's very much into that. And then my daughter's like social butterfly, like always hanging out with
My
friends.
daughter's the
And
same. Yeah, she's a very tight
yeah,
friend group.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you can tell your son that I led a 4-year campaign. We went all the way to level 20,
Is it
which is
Oh my God.
incredibly
I'll
rare.
tell him that. I don't know what it means, but I'll tell
Level
him that.
20. We went to level 20.
how
Okay.
consistent were you playing?
Every
Yeah.
2 weeks
Wow, that's really good.
for four
Yeah,
years.
it's hard to get people to meet people once a month
Yep.
consistently for
I was very
D&D.
lucky. We had a really tight group. I still have a tight group. I actually called off. We started a whole new campaign,
Mm,
but I called it off recently because I don't have the time and energy for it anymore.
mm.
I've got other priorities. So
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's still kind of like in process, but we've been trying to get a game together going for like a year
yeah.
plus, but it's like it's hard. It's hard to get people like all coordinated and on the same page and everybody having enough time and energy and bandwidth and
Well, we had to go virtual after COVID. We were
yeah,
meeting in person, which was so much fun.
yeah.
It's never quite the same online, but we still did it.
Dude, that's honestly one of my favorite things about going back home because I'm gonna go back home to LA tomorrow and visit my family is like we are all playing Gloomhaven together. But we only are doing it when like we're home together for the holidays and stuff. But it like when we have this like shared experience of like going through and like navigating these dungeons, even like for my baby sister who like really never has played video games at all. Like my other sister has played games a good amount, but like and my brother-in-law loves board games and games in general, but like when we have those shared experiences where it's like, yeah, we just
Yeah.
survived the thing and like we moved on, we leveled up, and we just start having these like crazy cool experiences together. It's so much fun.
Or you all get killed, and that's a bonding experience in
Yeah.
itself.
Well, we haven't in Gloomhaven at least we haven't died yet, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Oh no, we have lost once or twice. I
Niff,
mean,
you should play. You
I
should
want
make,
to.
you should make a druid.
I don't know how. He was like, he said something about a character sheet, and
Yeah,
he's like, I don't know
yeah,
how to explain that to you. So
just
I don't,
have him give it to you. Just have
one
him like
number
make it
at
for
a
the game.
time. Oh yeah,
and
that
then I
they have
just do it.
pre-made. Just Google druid pre-made character sheet. Print it out. You'll be good to go. Level 1,
I,
But
presumably.
I don't want pre-made. I want, I
yeah,
want,
I was gonna
I
say
want
she's not gonna.
Want
originality.
the whole process. Yeah, get in there.
All right.
Don't take
I
no
think
for an answer. Is he the
Yeah,
D? Is he
I
the
need,
DM?
I need to find like local people to play with. I'm like, there's got to be groups. How do people find?
It's
just have
hard.
your have
Just
your
start with your son. Start
yeah,
with your
have
son.
your son like run you through like a solo campaign or
You
get
only
your
need two
daughter to
people.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So,
It's super fun though. Like anytime I've played any of those games, it was really fun. Actually, when I was living in LA, I was actually on a Star Wars role playing game podcast for 3 episodes, and that was like
Nice.
incredibly fun. Yeah, it's actually pretty wild because not that we like want to get into politics, but like it was pre 2016 and one of the characters was Trumpo the Hutt. That was the character that he created that was in the thing. And in that episode you can actually hear me say, wow, it just dawned on me that Trump could actually potentially be president of our country at some point. Well, now we're here.
wow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
As my daughter would say, bro.
bro, no, it's mom, bro, mom. Yeah, it's bro,
Yeah,
mom.
they
I'm
call
like,
me
we're
bro.
low key.
That's their main
Everything
thing.
is low key. Low key. This conversation is like
So
low key.
are your kids too young for the 6-7 thing? Or is that part of their generation too?
They
Because it's just like the
they know it.
elementary school kids.
This is
But
my
I know
daughter's
they
No.
hat.
know it,
She
but
wears frequently.
Oh, I love it.
She just wears it around.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a fuck.
yeah.
No. I
I,
can
s-
never say
I was
six,
just gonna
seven.
grab
My
her at
kids
some
will pick
point.
it up. You missed
Your
the
kids
6-7 reference. Do
yeah,
your
your kids
kids
in the
six,
6-7
seven?
thing?
I mean, we do 6-7. Yeah, if you see a license plate, 6-7. It does mean something. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't mean something. It does.
So has anybody gone on like a ChatGPT rabbit hole about 6-7 at all?
Yeah, that's how we
Okay.
found out what it means.
Okay. So I'm
Honestly,
curious from your perspective, what do you think it means?
It originated as a street, like the 6-7 block in London, of a rap group that called themselves the 6-7.
Interesting.
And then it migrated into the lyrics of another rapper here in the US who made a song called 6-7. He's like going down the highway listening to 6-7, and he was referencing this other rap group in London that influenced him. And then that song was playing at a basketball game, and a player came out who's 6'7", 6'7" tall. And then the announcer was like, 6-7, here comes 6-7. And then he kind of got the nickname 6-7. And then they started, before a game that player was in, they'd have people in the audience, everyone in the audience would be going 6-7, like cheering for him. And they'd do like the jumbo cam of the people who were doing 6-7 the most. And so people are going crazy with it. And then it just spiraled from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess, long story short, it doesn't actually mean anything.
Well, but that's why I think it's so fascinating, because like in my rabbit hole with it, because like there's other little memes that we've had, like 69 or 420, like numbers, right? But like what's interesting about 6-7 is the inherent like meaningless of it. It's like a pure meme. Like it's a meme that is just a meme for the sake of being a meme, which is like very Gen Z and very Gen Alpha.
Everyone can participate in it. I think that might be the beauty of it.
Yeah. Or attribute meaning to it. If like this is what it means to me, or this is how I see it.
Yeah.
So in the Beauty and the Beast play, Gaston came out and he was singing about how he wanted to marry Belle and he wanted to have 6 or 7 children.
Mm.
Can you do that too?
That got a laugh.
That's funny.
Gosh.
So funny. Did you do any musical theater or plays or
I
anything?
did, yeah. I was in theater.
What did you
Not
do?
musical, but I would play parts, small parts.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the shows or anything you were in?
Fools by Simon.
Okay.
Simon
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Very famous playwright. Do you know it?
Yeah, Neil Simon.
Yeah.
I
Like a village, shenanigans at some rural Russian village. I played Mishkin, who's like a farmer or something. I had a few lines.
Was that like a Chekhov play? That one?
What do you mean?
The one where you were Michigan, or was that the Neil Simon play?
It was the Neil Simon one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one's not one I'm familiar with. Yeah.
In another one, I played a janitor in a mystery caper, and I wore jeans that had red paint on them for some reason. And the whole crowd thought that I was the killer because I had blood on my jeans. They're like, the janitor did it. They were very disappointed at the end when it wasn't the janitor.
What was the reason you had blood on your jeans?
It wasn't blood, it's just red paint.
Oh, got it.
Building a set or something.
Got it.
Yeah. Niff,
Is this anything that you still do? Do you still do like theater or have any interest in that or did improv or anything like that?
D&D is structured improv.
Well,
Yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah.
It's just an excuse for nerds to do improv if they're too scared to go do actual improv.
Oh, man.
We're battling monsters. We're not doing improv.
Yeah.
We're not that nerdy. We may be nerds, but we're not the bottom tier yet.
Yeah. That was what I loved about the Star Wars one in particular, was that it's very much more emphasized towards the storytelling elements. Like there are things with like how you roll the dice where you might like succeed in like pickpocketing somebody, but like there's also an element of like whether that action ends up being sort of positive or good. So like you could succeed and a bad thing might happen, or you might fail and like a good thing might happen from that failure. So it creates these really interesting storytelling dynamics throughout the game.
That's something I was going to say, but I lost it. Niff, are you in theater? Do you sing?
No, see, this was my problem with theater in high school and stuff because it was always musicals, and I was like, I like to act, but I don't like to sing. So I would do it, but I always tried to take the non-singing ones. But I was in a group. We were called Pride Parent Resource Institute for Drug Education, and we would go around to different schools and sing and dance and do skits about being drug free. It was very Dare-like. Like, look at me,
So like Dare, like musical Dare.
Cool. You could be like me too.
You need to wear those shirts.
So funny. But
do you have any of those shirts? Because you should definitely wear them at raves and festivals.
I have one, and my daughter cut it up. That was the only one that I have. I'm one of those people that love wearing the Dare shirts, ironically, though. So I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like those programs did a lot more to get kids thinking about drugs than actually scaring them off. They're like, oh, really? They're like, they might make you feel awesome, but then you'll be in the gutter. And they're like, all they hear is, oh, they make us feel awesome? Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my kids don't even know like what they are, They don't they've never been curious. I've never really talked about it. Like,
That's
Uh-huh.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, because it's like it became such a part of like media. Like obviously you had dare programs, but you also had lots of commercials that were like these things do drugs, like they rot your brain, which is like that was all the messaging I got. So I was never really interested in
the
substances at
fri-
all
the
until
fried egg.
yeah, the
Mhm.
fried egg stuff and yeah, all those things were like there was like one I remember it was like this is what happens when you start smoking pot kind of thing, and it was like this person who was just like completely vegged out and burnt out and didn't move at all, which like can't happen with
There is
some
some
people.
truth to that.
Definitely can't happen with a lot of you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not everybody, but I've seen so many people who I have known who were like heavy potheads, and at some point they just kind of like wake up, like naturally. They're just kind of like, oh, like I don't want this to be my life, and then they kind of just change. Like I'm sure that
Yeah.
there's cases where that's not the case, but like most people just seem to like kind of handle it themselves, which
I
is
mean, it's not addictive
yeah,
Hmm.
physically.
yeah,
Yeah. I feel like thoughts of you have been coming up in my head a little bit around like sobriety and stuff. That's something that I've been thinking about. Not that I want to be sober or anything,
Yeah.
but even personally, like I've cut alcohol out of my life. I'm like, what is the value of alcohol? I don't really see the value. I don't, all this. And then there came a point where I used different substances, and I thought they were very pivotal in like the things that helped me like learn a lot about myself and grow and develop, in and out of the rave scene. And then I was thinking about it and I'm like, I think the overall goal though is to reach these states not using anything. I think they
great.
could be very helpful in like helping to get to that. But now I'm in this frame of mind of like, all right, but the overall goal, what's the end goal here to reach these
Yeah,
states without doing that? And how do I do that? So that's kind of where my curiosity has been in it now. And
I
I
think
feel
there's
like,
dim-
some of our conversations inspired that.
I think
yeah,
there's diminishing returns, and people
Mm-hmm.
keep trying to get that same breakthrough that they have already achieved, and they're just trying to get back to that same
Mm-hmm.
place over and over and over again, and they don't realize that they don't need it anymore. Like
yeah.
I've talked to people who I've been like, just go to one night at one show, you're just sober,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
they
absolutely.
won't even consider it. They're like, I would never do that.
That's yeah.
Like,
It's
Oh,
that's so wild to me because I mean, when I went to like all of those shows, like I remember just being like running
yeah,
around
it's just like in the background.
like a cat.
so
Because what?
one's going to a
Y-
sleepover tonight because they don't have school. So they're like, yeah.
Your children have the zoomies.
Yeah, kind of like a horror movie. What was that?
They move so quickly. It was very funny. Um, I don't remember what I was gonna
Sorry, but
say.
what were you saying about that
But can you
before
jog my memory on what we
We're
were?
talking about sobriety,
that stuff?
talking about
Yeah.
diminishing
Oh,
return.
just
Talking
like
about
yeah. I mean,
they can't go without it now. They need
yeah.
it
I have like two thoughts on
to
that.
hit
One
that
is
state.
like to yours' point around like being able to experience it. I think part of my own because I didn't even have a drink until I was 20, like at all. Like I didn't have anything. And so I experienced most of my life and had a lot of fun completely sober. And like I wasn't part of a heavy drinking family. I wasn't part of like, I was very Christian. So like there's a lot of really good things that come from that because it was like you learn to have fun without these substances. And I wasn't involved in like high school party culture and that kind of
Yeah,
thing and drinking
I
at
wasn't either.
16. Yeah. And so like,
Mm-hmm.
I
I've
think
been
I,
pretty much totally sober my entire life until yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
and now
And
I am again.
yeah. And I found like even drinking, I remember one time where I got really, really drunk when I was in college and being like, wow, I like access this part of myself that I wish I was more in normal everyday life. And I remember like it wasn't even like that I was like, oh, I want to start drinking more to like access that, but it was that same question of like how do I become more of that in my life? And then I think to the point around like the sober raving and everybody going to at least one show. I mean, I think a day of a festival, multiple shows, but like when I went to all those shows, it was like there were plenty of times where I would be just completely sober and having a great time, and people were like, "Oh, what are you on?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Nothing. I'm just having a great time right now."
I got asked that several times. Like I was in the village, which is the base stage, back up against the subwoofers, just looking at the beauty of it with this huge smile on my face. And that's my favorite spot in the universe, is that spot right there. And this guy came up and he was like, "Dude, how's the Molly treating you?" And I was like, "This is just natural, man." He didn't quite believe me.
So funny.
Now, do you think your experience in using those substances, is that almost like something you can draw from now and still being sober, or do you think it's still something you could have
100%. I think,
without it? Or,
like you said, you can reach these places without it, but I think it can really help people break through all those barriers. And I
Yeah.
think each one has a different sort of, each substance has like its own role in that, a
Mhm.
different kind of, I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, I
Mhm.
think it is, but it's diminishing returns. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
do think it can greatly accelerate your journey. I think that's why they're so popular at these, mind expanding, love, human connection places, because it does accelerate the
Yeah.
process.
Well, and you're also in like an incredibly safe space to experience those things. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I think almost everybody that I know, including myself, like at some point at a festival or rave, especially if you're doing substances, you're probably gonna like fall apart a little bit, right? And like kind of either have a hard time or collapse
Oh,
or
of course.
whatever,
It's very,
right?
very common. Yeah. I mean, I've
And
been myself and yeah, it's commonplace. Yeah.
yeah, and like each of those times,
Like the
it's
med
like,
tent at EDC, as I mentioned. Oh, it's just a freaking war zone, man. Fluids everywhere, like just awful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and just like kind of those moments also like bring you to like finding those other connections, but also like deeper places within yourself, I think too, where it's like I remember being at EDC my first time and being like, man, I just want to have a heart to heart conversation with somebody. Like I was just like craving like a really deep, because it was like a little bit like really, really early gates of COVID ending, and I ended up wandering over to the the place where everybody gets married. I can't think of what it's called right now. And I ended up sitting next to this guy, and like we had this like super, super like heart to heart conversation about like love and loss and fear and all those different things. And it was just really beautiful because I was able to have that, go into that space.
I am going to cut off the recording part. We can keep chatting, but I don't want my podcast to be over 90 minutes. I feel like there's a threshold where you're like, uh, oh, it's over 90 minutes. Under 90, it's like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though I have no viewers. But
Yeah. Yeah. No, no.
Niff,
I
Niff,
feel
do you
like an
want the
hour
last
length.
word?
Yeah. I'd say like roughly an hour is
no,
probably good for.
no, as I say, you keep undermining yourself. Even when we first started and you were like, I don't have many viewers or no one's going to see this or this and that. And I said to you, I said, but it might be just one person that does and that needed to hear this
Yeah.
and could have like such an impact to lead them on some trajectory that never would have happened if they didn't hear that thing. So even if
True.
it's one, like it, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet. I'm going to end on that.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh.
end of Camp Chat. We'll see you next week, campers.
Okay. Bye.